Mm, okay. All right, now y'all can hear me. Um, yeah, man. I'm just over here chilling, and it's raining. You know what I'm saying? It's raining and shit. Um, yeah, it's raining and shit. Chilling, yeah. I don't know what's happening, man. Don't know why I'm doing this shit. Was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he told me he thinks it's a good idea for me to make like story times, but like put it on my, I guess, YouTube or whatever. I don't know. There really is no like, how can I say, there really is no, I won't say sensible reason to do it, but there's no like there's no I don't tell there's no like there's no like thing that's going down that's like, yo, this shit needs to happen. Let me resize the, let me, should I duplicate it, or yeah, I could duplicate it, fuck it. Or hold up. Instead of duplicating it, hold up. Wait, if I duplicate it, will it thing? Will it still? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. The transition still works. All right, cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna do it on the duplicated one. I'm basically trying to make my face bigger on the duplicated one specifically. Yeah, this looks about right, right? Yeah, fuck it. This is cool. Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah. So anyway, I was chilling with my homies, and this nigga was like, "Yeah, bro." He was like, "Yeah. You should do your own story times, man. And tell people about shit that be going down like with you and shit." And I was like, "Huh, that's so interesting, man. That's so great. That's great, and great things happen with great degrees of happening." Okay. That's terrible. What the fuck am I really talking about, bro? I need to find something to like. Oh yeah, but I don't have to put anything on the screen because it's just my fucking face on the screen, right? Yeah. All right. So god damn it, man. God damn it. But you know what? Chill, bro. Ain't nobody watching this shit, nigga. So like, anyway, he was like, "Yeah, dog. You should do this thing and like put this shit up." And yeah, I don't know. I kind of thought about it for some time, and I don't like people knowing about my life or whatever. Not because like I'm trying to maintain mystique or like whatever. It's just a thing of like, yeah, I don't want people to feel like they can weigh in on shit I gotta deal with personally. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, my life is not a spectacle. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, bro. But at the same time, I do be having like a lot of conversations with myself about some shit. Not that I don't want to bounce it off people, but it's like, yeah, they are certain aspects of the conversation that are like, hey, bro, it'd be cool to, you feel me? Or so that another person can see it and be like, oh, I'm not the only motherfucker that be thinking about wah. Young tell. So yeah, bro. You know what I mean? So like right now, I'm just thinking about this shit, man. Niggas started streaming like what, like a year ago or some shit. You know? Um had some goals, had some goals. And like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? Got the gear and all that stuff. Started streaming, the whole nine, bro. And yeah, dog, I got like a couple of other things that were like that, you know, like photography, music, drawing, painting, and I've just been thinking lately, like I've been having this kind of like back and forth with myself, almost like a tug of war of like, hey, bro, you know, like is there like a grand goal for doing all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a grand goal? Is there something deeper? Is there something more? You know what I mean? Like, what's the big thing when you think about like life in general? Do you feel like your life is like, do you feel like it's moving towards like a grand goal? Is the grand goal even important? What even is the grand goal at this point? You know, having tried so many things. Uh, so Lord, to kind of keep it brief, I guess I'll go into it like over time, but like the gist of it is that like there's a lot of things I've tried over the years. You know what I mean? Different ideas, whatever, that I was like, hey, I want to pursue this thing, and then I tried it, whatever, and then yeah. So there's a bunch of things that have happened like that, you know, and I guess find myself like niggas is now like reflecting over everything. You feel me? Not necessarily in the sense of feeling like I failed. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, you know, in the end, you tried the thing, and I would argue that that was more important than succeeding at it. At least that's how I look at it now. I don't always look at it like that. That's the best way I could put it. You know, and it kind of also stuck with me because I was watching I've been watching like a lot of shit on like YouTube, whatever. But I was watching this YouTube thingy about some manga called Solanin, right? Hold up, let me check my phone real quick. Okay. Okay. Lamborghini Mercy. Yo, chick, she's so thirsty. I'm in that sissy. Anyway. With your girl, she's trying to. Okay. Job. Anyway. Oh, Solanin. I was reading it not too long ago. Yeah. Solanin. Yeah. So, cool, brothers. This bro was talking about Solanin. And like, oh shit, I still forgot to jack in the headphone, nigga, crazy shit, nigga. Hold up. So anyway, I was watching this fucking thing called goddamn Solanin, and there niggas was watching Solanin, all of that good jazz, you know, enjoying it. Well, nigga, I'm kind of getting kind of sidetracked and lost here. What I mean to say is that, I was watching the guy talk about like Solanin, and I was thinking to myself, you know, like, I saw a lot of symmetry and correlation from that story and like niggas' own lives. You feel me? So like I was thinking about that shit and I was like, yo, bro, you know, what's the big thing now? You know, because niggas have been alive for quite some time. You know what I mean? And I have been the kind of motherfucker that had like I always had something like that. I was kind of like, not that I don't have shit right now, but it's like I always had like some type of grand thing I was like chasing at the time, and there was like a couple of things I had like that, you know. And for the first time, it's like I'm more all over the place than ever before, you know. So niggas is kind of having to grapple with that, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to feel about that shit. Sometimes I feel cool about it, like, hey, you know, it's nice that you're not necessarily putting all your eggs in one basket and you're spreading yourself around. But at the same time, there's a part of me that feels like friction, that like, hey, you know, it does kind of feel somewhat like unfocused in terms of like, you know, like there's that one thing that's like, yo, everything is leading up to this one goal, but it's like I don't have like one goal. It's like I have like a bunch of goals and shit. You know, it's debatable which one is the biggest one. You know what I mean? Like they're all just as essential for like different reasons. And like, yeah, bruh, niggas is trying to pursue that shit, you know? And like, yeah, bruh, niggas be pondering that shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, made some choices, decided, hey, you know, Niggas want to be singale for a while, so shit is crazy right now, you know? But poses a question, man, that I'd like to pose on you as like the person watching this, you know? What's happening on your side of things, man? I'd say put it in the comments and shit, but like I turned that shit off, so like it's honestly something for you to ponder in your own time. It's not really something that I'm like, yeah, like it's like, you know, besides that, it's like, you know, would you really want niggas knowing your personal blah 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 in the comments online? You feel me? I don't know, not that niggas care that much, but like I don't know, you know, I'm still, yeah. Anyway, something to think about, dog. You know, do you feel like your life has a grand thing that you're chasing? If so, what is it? You feel me? How far along are you? And yeah, you know, how do you feel about that? And even if you don't have that, then like what's that like? Because Solanin has like an exploration on that with these like two different characters. One character represents kind of like chasing something relentlessly, and being, I suppose, completely consumed, or you know, potentially being like overweighed by the weight of like completely giving yourself up to something and in pursuit. Whereas the other person is like, you know, she's like okay, all right, that's I kind of lost where I was going with it, but yeah, I was kind of supposed to like make it stick and make it land and shit. But like, to quote goddamn a movie you guys should check out called Waking Life. Basically, the exploration between these two characters is like perfectly illustrated in this one scene from Waking Life, where there's a dude that's like on top of a pole, and there's these guys that are like walking along the street towards the guy that's on top of the pole. The guy's on top of a pole, and there is no like ladder kind of showing how he got up there. He just got up there, right? And he's just like there, speaking about how he has no idea of how to get down. Like he was kind of like fully, you know, set on like, okay, I'm gonna get to this place at the top, and then yeah, bro was like, I didn't figure out how the fuck I was gonna get down or like what to do from here. And then the guys on the street are like walking, and they're theorizing a plan of like something that they want to do, but they don't have the courage to take action to like make do on it type shit, right? So it's not exactly the same, because in this like Solanin thing, it's like it presents itself like very differently. And obviously I'm like chopping it up and whatever. I didn't watch the fucking movie and like read all the anime and shit. I just saw the YouTube video and like whatever, and then I was just like, man, let me just spitball this hoe. But anyway, yeah, so back to the back to the oh yeah, Waking Life. So anyway, so the point of it is freedom without purpose and purpose without freedom. Yeah, that was one thing that I mentioned in like the video. So like, yeah, purpose without freedom is like what the nigga was doing, where it's like, you know, like I said, you're completely giving yourself up for the pursuit of the thing, and you have no freedom in your pursuit of that thing that you want to do. You feel me? Regardless of the outcome, you know, whether positive, negative, whatever. At least that's my perspective on it. And then the other person's perspective, the other girl's perspective, was like coming at it on some like, she didn't really have like a grand plan or a super thing she was like bent on like doing, but she was like, I don't fuck with like my life and how mundane it feels type shit. So she's like, I want more, but it's like not knowing exactly what that more is. And then it just kind of shows like an exploration of them finding like answers for that. And like, yeah, so how does this relate to motherfuckers being young adults? I guess it depends on you, man. I can only speak from like my perspective, really. I can't speak for like other people's perspective, but from my perspective, it's like I know what it's like to be on the other side of that. Like post you know, taking that like leap of faith, or you completely throwing everything to the wayside and being like, yo, I'm gonna go pursue this thing, and like, yeah, you know what I mean? And like that shit didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit didn't work out. I was like, doing whatever, and like that shit ain't work out. And like, yeah, man, it's been mixed emotions with that shit. You know, like, it feels like one of those. Is it because like you didn't try hard enough? Is it that things didn't align properly? You feel me? Was there more that could have been done? Could niggas have done things differently? All that type of shit. You know what I mean? Whereas there's also like a portion of it that's like, all right, well, you know, it's came and went, and like, cool, bro, you made your decisions and whatnot, and like, you're here now. You know what I mean? Like, you can still try that or other things, maybe not to that degree. I will say that. And I know it's like, yo, I'm speaking in code and shit like that, and but again, y'all don't know me, so it's like, yeah, I'm still very much aware that this is like gonna be consumed by like other people and shit. So like, you feel me? It's like, yeah, for the sake of my own whatever you call it, you feel me? It's like, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's still I guess I'm breaking the fourth wall, you feel me? But it's like, yeah, I can't act like I don't know I'm recording this shit. You feel me? So like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so niggas have conflicting feelings about that, and I'm just trying to feel my way through it. So like, anyway, yeah, my boy was like, yeah, dog, why don't you put up like story times or whatever? So yeah, I guess originally this ain't even the shit that inspired what I'm doing right now initially, right? Like, the first time I actually thought of like recording this shit, there was actually a different story, which I might cut up in pieces, I guess, because we're done with the me lamenting about like my perspective on life based on this like Solanin thing I seen. And like, oh, I'm also reading the manga right now. That shit is pretty cool. You should read it. It even has a movie. I couldn't find it, but like, you could probably find it somewhere out there. We talking about economic state of affairs, Nick. Anyway, what is we talking about? Oh, the thing that inspired this thing, bro. So like, yeah. Anyway, the story that actually inspired this whole shit, right? Fuck, I don't even have an intro. What the fuck? I don't have an intro. Nigga, that's the intro. Anyway, so yeah, how this shit came about was like, nigga, I'm not from America, by the way. I stay in South Africa. I watched a lot of TV growing up. It's the whole thing. I don't want to get into that. Anyway, so the thing that happened was that I had an interview for like a job, and cool. So I had an interview for a job at this learnership thing I was doing some time ago, and like, whatever, had a job interview, and then okay, finally the day comes. They're like, yo, bro, get ready for your job interview, whatever, it's tomorrow, and we need you to, like, you know, obviously dress appropriately, get there on time, the whole shebang. I'm like, all right, cool, you know. So obviously, given that it's short notice, it was like 4 o'clock on that day when they called me. It was like around that time. And then I'm like, all right. So I'm, you know, panicking around trying to like organize all this shit. So I'm broke. So it's not like I got the cash and whatever to just sort all this shit out, right? Because they were like, firstly, it was like formal wear. So then they were like, yeah, formal wear. And then obviously, you know, the location could be anywhere. So they're like, yeah, dog, it's gonna be at this area that's not too far from like where I stay. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah, let me start organizing. So I'll obviously get there frantic. I'm like, yo, hit up Magriza. I'm like, yo, Magriza, kupungnya tele so, you know, call my family. I was like, yo, can you help me with da 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 da? And it took a lot of people helping me. Like one of my homies, shout out Kaiju, feel me? Well, that's his online tag, his gamer tag. Again, y'all don't know niggas like that, so I ain't gonna be calling out niggas' real names and shit. So anyway, whatever. Kaiju hooked me up with some, and then everyone around me hooked me up and like helped me put everything I needed to put together. So whatever, get the suit together, and then I had to iron it, but like I didn't have enough time to take it to the dry cleaners. I didn't even have the cash for it, honestly. And then I'm chilling there. I'm like, yo, I tell my mom, I'm like, yo, bro, I need to get the suit like pressed or whatever. And then she's like, okay. So she had to go do some other shit. She wasn't gonna be around or whatever. So she's like, nah, bro, just take a cloth, put some water on it, and then you'll iron the cloth, and then you'll put the suit underneath that, and then that'll be how you like steam it or like press it or whatever. And I was like, oh. And then she's like, that way you won't get like the silver shining thing or whatever. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. If you've worn a suit, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, or like, you know, like with school pants and shit, sometimes when you iron them, you get like that fucking shiny shit, those shiny like lines or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so like, yeah, cool. Fucking, what happens after that? Sort out the suit, and then that night, my mom's was MIA, whatever, sorted out the suit. So the next day I had to go do my hair. I also went to go trim my beard. Went to the shop, whatever, went to go trim my beard. Cool, came back home. And then yeah. Next day I had to go do my hair in the morning. So I'm trying to do dreads for the second time. Would I ever put the pictures up of like the first time I had dreads? I'll consider it. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, second time I'm doing dreads, boom, boom, boom. And then I'm like, alright, let me go and like, yeah, whatever, do the whole thing of getting ready. So like, cool, whatever, iron my shit that night. Got ready. Then the next day, now it's like the day for the interview, right? And then starts in the morning, and shit starts going weird from jump. First thing that happens, boy, I put my suit shoes on, and I put my suit shoes on. I mean formal shoes. But yeah, whatever. I put those shoes you wear with the goddamn suit. I put those things on, and that shit starts peeling. So I'm like, alright, like whatever. It's not it's peeling, but it's not like crazy. So I'm like, alright, whatever. Alright. I buy to the shops, whatever, and then I get my hair done. So when I got there early. So I got there at like 9, but the place was only opening at 10. So I was just chilling there at 9, just like waiting. Then I went to go take out the money that they'd sent so I could do my hair and go to the interview. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. I do all that shit. Well, actually, no. So I'm just waiting there. I go withdraw the money, and then I went to go buy some hairspray or whatever for like dandruff and all that. And then cool. Finally get to the spot. I do my hair. Well, actually, no. I waited. Nigga, I came back from getting the money withdrawn. Then I waited. Then eventually the lady came, and then I called her like at 9, and I asked her like, Vele, like, yo, when is the place opening? She's like, nah, it's opening at 10. Then she got there at 10, whatever. I'm still obviously waiting. So I've been waiting like a whole hour, just chilling there, overthinking the interview. So obviously I'm in my head about the interview. I'm like, yo, nigga, this could happen at the interview. I just want to get my hair done so I can make it on time. And then, cool, bruh. She finally gets there. She's like, hey, and she's like, yo, have you been waiting long? I'm like, yeah, nah, I was on the phone with you earlier. And she's like, oh, dude, you should have told me like earlier, you know, like maybe like yesterday or whatever, and I could have done like an early, like I could have opened up early just to do your hair early. And I was like, nah, you know, I wasn't aware of that, so, you know, but shout out to her. And then cool, after some time, once she like starts getting ready to do my hair and all of that, and like it's like, okay, I'm gonna wash it, whatever. And then some other lady comes in. Obviously she got dreads because it's a place where they do dreads. So this other lady comes in, whatever. They like start talking, boom, boom, boom. The whole time while this is happening, they doing my hair. So cool, they doing my hair, boom, boom, boom. Why am I doing the boom, boom, boom? I'm not J. Cole. So I need to find my own thing. Anyway, so I'm there having my hair washed, and then these ladies are like having a conversation about what's going on in the country, just like general talking, like anything. So cool, they have that conversation, and then ends up coming about that the lady that's there, not the hairdresser, the other lady, She is going to the area where my job interview is gonna be. Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, that happens. So I'm obviously geeking out about that. I'm like, that's interesting. The shoes, but now this. So alright, cool. I'm like, yo, are you since you like you work in that area, are you gonna be going there today? And she's like, yeah, I am gonna be going there today, like a little later actually. I have to take someone from there or like to there, something like that. And I was like, oh snap, yo, can I please lift? You know what I mean? So this is a complete stranger, by the way. I don't know this lady. I don't know her like that. She don't know me like that. But I was like, excuse me, you know what? Given that I'm gonna be wearing a suit, I was like, it's gonna be weird me walking around like hella spots with a suit on. I guess it was foreshadowing for what happened later that day. But anyway, so I tell her that, nah, dog, I think it's gonna be weird, like walking around with a suit, boom. And she's like, okay, that's cool. I can definitely give you a lift. And then she was like, yeah, I get paid to like take people here and there, da da da. So yeah, I can do it. But she's not an Uber though. Like she take like people that like work around the area and whatnot. I mean, technically Uber, but debatable. Y'all guys can argue in the comments that are not gonna be there at once this video goes up. But anyway, finally, she says, yeah, okay, cool, I'll take you. And then cool, she gives me a number, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'll hit you up like as soon as I get home. And then yeah, they finish doing my hair, and then I get compliments about my hair. I'm like, all right, cool, that's nice. You know, always helps when you're gonna do an interview and then the ladies are like, hey, you look presentable, you look fresh. Always helps a lot. Well, it helps me a lot. So cool. I vibe back to the house, and then I change into my suit. I had already bathed like early in the morning before I even left to go do my hair. So by the time there, I was already fresh and everything. I was like, okay, cool. Whole time I haven't eaten, boy. Haven't chowed nothing. Then okay, I get back Bozy, and then I'm like, alright, let me just chow now. So I chow, I text that lady, I'm like, yo, I'm just changing into my suit, whatever. Let me know once you're gonna make your way to that place where I'm going. She's like, cool, I'll let you know. Finish eating, whatever, waits a bit of time, and then yeah, it ends up taking long. So she's like, yo, I'm still at the hairdresser, this is gonna take too long, so why don't you just make your way towards the place for the interview? I'm like, all right, cool, you know. She's like, wish you luck, all the best. I'm like, cool, shop, I bet. I vie. Now I get dressed into the suit. Suit pants is really tight, man. Suit pants is really tight. I got tights on, I got the suit pants, I got the suit shoes, I got a waistcoat. Crazy. I got a waistcoat. I got a formal shirt. It's like white, but then it has these like lines and whatever. So it's not like one of those like crispy clear white ones. It's one of them like it's got texture. So alright, cool. And then I also had what's that thing? That thing that you tie on the suit. Like you put it in between the tie and the shirt. Yeah, so it holds the tie and the shirt together so that the tie doesn't like flap around or like move around and whatnot, and then it holds it in place. It's like a pin, but it's like a big ass pin. So anyway, whatever. I put that thing on. I had a bronze looking one. So I put that on there. I'm like, ooh, okay, cool. I'm looking fresh. I'm looking clean. My hair is nice. It's, you know, it's nicely lewd. You know what I'm saying? It's Louis Huntley. I'm like, all right, cool. Me vibe. So I hop in the cab. So I'm walking out of the house, and obviously now I'm, you know, starting to deep the whole thing of like, yo, I'm wearing a suit and I'm just walking around. And mind you, the suit, the interview was at like 3:00 that day. So it's like 1, bro. It's like 1 or like 12:30, and I'm walking around. You feel me? Trying to get to like the place where the interview is gonna be with a suit on. So I'm walking there. Obviously, people are like, you know, where the hell is this guy going? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, either they think I'm going to a wedding or I'm going for a job interview. One of those two options is true. Dun, 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 dun. But which one is it? Anyway, so I walk to the thing. I get the one cab from one place to like another place where the rest of the cabs are going to the actual area I'm going to. So like on the way to like the first checkpoint stop, I have this weird interaction with some random dude. Some dudes there, and he's like, he's like looking at me. Obviously, I'm wearing a fucking suit, whatever. So I have a thing when like if someone stares at me, like I'll stare at them back. So it was one of those times. So this nigga stares at me, I stare at him, and he like looks at me and he gets this like weird thing of like anger. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the suit. I don't know. So this guy's like, he's like, do we have a problem? You know, mind you, he's saying all this in Zulu. I'm like, you know what I mean? All this is not happening in English. This is all in Zulu, and I'm responding in Sotho, which is also kind of wild to think about when you're like walking around in this country. You could talk to someone in one language and they respond in like a totally different language, and you guys understand each other perfectly. But anyway, so he's like, do we have a problem? I'm like, nah, we good, you know, we don't have a problem. And he's like, yeah, don't fucking stare at people. And I was just like, okay, man, you know, you stared at me first. I didn't say that though, but in my mind I was like, yo, nigga, you stared at me first. So I'm just returning the eye contact. So cool, whatever. So I'm like, all right, this nigga gotta be hating because I'm wearing a suit. Ain't no way. Because I'm like, I know if I was wearing some regular shit, this nigga wasn't gonna have such an adverse reaction. I like that word, adverse. Anyway, so cool, whatever, that shit happens. And then I get to like the first checkpoint, boom, and then I get in the cab, and then I like sit there, whatever, and now I'm like, basically it's gonna be from the place I'm at to like straight to close by where the interview is. It's like a mall that's close to the place I was getting interviewed at. So cool, I make my way there. Eventually the cab starts filling up, and then there's this girl that comes to sit next to me. So she looks very like interesting, and I'm like, oh cool. So the way she's dressed, I'm like, hey, she looks like pretty like dressed up proper. I'm like, maybe she's going to the interview at the same place I'm going to. But I didn't ask her that. I was like, hey, let me mind my business, you know, I don't want to like bore her or like whatever. So I just kept quiet. I just was like looking out taxi, thinking about my own thoughts, you know. Now I'm just thinking about, hey, what's this place that I'm gonna do the interview, or like what's it gonna look like, checking it on like Google Maps and whatever, just to see like how close is it from the taxi rank. Do I have to walk far? Because obviously I'm wearing a suit and whatnot, so it's like, now I gotta think of like really how far is it, and you know how long it's gonna take to get there, etc, etc. Taxi takes off. Cool. The whole time I'm also at the back of my head, I'm thinking about like this girl, like where is she going? You know what I mean? So I'm like, cool, whatever. Eventually I get to the taxi rank, there by the mall that's close to the place I'm being interviewed at, and I get off the cab. So at this point, not only have the shoes like cracked even more, but one of my shoe soles comes out. Shoe sole comes out. I'm like, damn. That is crazy. So it comes out, and it's me and the girl that just stepped out the cab. Me and the girl that was sitting next to me. So she sees me. She's like, you know, she's like, oh shit. And then I start laughing. Like I start laughing like hysterically. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, what are the chances something like this could happen? You know, it's like that that philosopher dude that was like, or that philosophy that talks about like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. It was one of them type of beats. So the shoe sole comes out. I'm like, I start laughing hysterically because I'm like, huh. What are the chances? Start laughing, and then I'm like, damn, I need to fix this. And then she also says the same thing. She's like, yeah, dude, try see if you can go ask around for a tailor there by the taxi rank, and like maybe someone will fix it for you. So I walk around there by the taxi rank, whatever. I walk around. I didn't even walk very far. I just checked like the first couple of places that were like right at the front of the taxi rank. So cool, I checked those spots, and then I checked them, and then hey dog, I find some shop. So I go to the shop. I'm like, yo, do y'all have a tailor? They're like, yeah, we have a tailor, but he just stepped out right now. I'm like, he just left now? And they're like, yeah, he just left now, and he's gone for the day. And I was like, that's crazy. So obviously I'm like, wow, you know, that's, you know, but I don't have time to like panic and shit like that because I still have to go to the interview. So I'm like, all right, let me just cut through the mall, and then let me see if I can find like a tailor quickly. I go inside the mall. I find a shop that has suits and all of that. And then I talk to the guy. He even has like a machine there in front of him. I talk to the guy, and I'm like, yo, I have a situation. So I show him like the shoe sole, and I'm like, yo, can you like fix this for me? You know? And he's like, yeah, I don't fix shoes. And that was the end of that. I was like, all right, thank you for your time. And then I'm obviously I'm walking through the mall. I'm limping. I'm limping. So I'm wearing this suit, feel me? Suit pants is tight as fuck. They killing me, all that shit, and I'm limping. Got one shoe sole, and yeah, you feel me? Cool. I'm walking, and then I go see some other security guards. I'm like, yo, is there another place I can go to? The security guards were like close to center management or like mall management. So I figured that could be a place to go because I didn't have enough money to necessarily pay a tailor or even buy glue. I was just hoping it was going to be a thing of like someone was going to be like, hey, I'll just help you out of the goodness of my heart, because I see you're in a dire situation right now type shit. So I go to some security guards. I'm like, yo, man, I got this situation. And they're like, yo, this is unbelievable, bro. And they're like, yeah, dude, the only place you could go to is like by this other shopping center that's next to the mall I'm at. So it wasn't on the way to like where I'm going for the interview. So I was like, this is taking too much time. So I tell them, okay, I'll tell them, yeah, I'm going to go there, knowing damn well I ain't going there. So I just vie and I'm like, let me just vie to the interview, bro. Fuck it. Cause I don't have time. You know what I mean? I'm like, if I try to do this thing, I'm going to run late and like, yeah, I can't fuck this up. So I vie at the mall, boy. Still limping, dog. Still limping. Vie at the mall. I vie to the spot. I vie. And my other shoe sole comes out. Like just a couple of like, just down the street from like the place. My other shoe sole comes out. I started laughing hysterically, bro. And there's like other brews that were like chilling on the side of the road. They saw me. They started laughing. They're like, ain't no way. So I show them both of my shoe soles. They're like, hey, bro, both of them came out. And they're like, there's no fucking way. And I'm like, yeah, dude, interviews right now. And they were like, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, it is crazy. So anyway, I keep it moving. I vibe. I get there by the spot. They're like, so it's like a really established company. It's like a serious company, whatever. It's the first time I had to do an interview at a spot like that. So they're like, yeah, who sent you here? And I'm like, nah, what is this? I'm like, nah, they didn't specify on the email that they gave me. They just sent me the email and then, whatever. I was supposed to come here. So they're like, okay, we need to go find out about this. So they call inside there by reception, like, there's a person here for an interview, So obviously they're trying to verify all that. So now we're having an issue there. And like, yeah, I'm just kind of standing there by the gate. You feel me? So I'm obviously hot and all that shit from the walking, not to mention I don't have soles. And I told myself when I was like on the way there that like with the shoe sole thing, I was like, yo, bro, don't act weird. I'm like, don't act like you don't have shoe soles. I'm like, treat it like you still have your shoe soles on and everything's normal. And I'm like, don't ever try to, I'm like, don't let it slip or don't act like all weird and shit or like don't start acting like uneasy because of the shoe thing. So I'm like, cool. So I stand there. Cool. After some time, they're like, oh yeah, we found out. Okay, they are expecting people for like an interview, blah, blah, blah. So cool. I buy there. They give me this ticket or this like pass to go inside. And then I write there, okay, cool, this is why I'm here, da da da. I go inside, I go by the reception. The receptionist is like, hey, hi, how you doing? Well, she didn't say, hey, hi. She's like an older lady. So obviously she was like, I was like, Dumelang, the guy, all of that. I was like, yo, this is why I'm here. She's like, okay, cool. I'm going to find the person that's supposed to do your interview. Do you know who it is? And then I told her that I was supposed to see some other lady. So I ended up having to make a phone call to the people that sent me the email to ask them like, yo, who am I supposed to say who am I supposed to say I'm here to see? They told me say this person. I said that person by the reception and also like when I was by the gate. And then yeah, cool, whatever. They're like, okay, the receptionist is like, all right, cool, I'll call the person that you saying. So cool, they call that person and then she's like, in the meantime, while that person is still coming and all that, because all of them are on lunch right now, fill out this paper. So it's like it was like a background check thing, whatever. And then it was also just like, she was like, yeah, make sure you hold on to your pass. That's how you get out of the building. And I was like, cool. I like chill there. And then, yeah, man, I take a breath mint. It wasn't really a breath mint. It was a Halls, but it wasn't one of them minty ones. It was like a cherry one. Which funny enough, I had in my pocket since the day I went to Matric Dons. I was wearing my suit from Matric Dons. Anyway, so cool. My Matric Dons was how many years ago? 6, 7. 6, 7, um, 8, right? Yeah, it's been like 8 or 7 years, 7 or 8 years, since that day. But anyway, whatever. So cool. I'm chilling there, eating that whole cherry thingy from 2018. So cool, whatever. The lady eventually comes and she gets me. She's like, yo, okay, cool. I'm gonna take you to the place where you're gonna do the interview. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, cool. We vibe to some other department in the building, some other side of the building. That's like way more quiet than where I was, with like the main building is. So cool. I go there. I get there and then I sit down. So I'm in this like office cubicle area. But all the it's not really cubicles. It's like, I guess, desks that are like aligned in like lines and like rows and stuff like that. Like, you know, when you're at the computer lab, is both my computer lab, or like when you go to like the science class, but like the proper science class where they have those like long tables. You know what I'm talking about. If you carve, you carve. You know what I'm talking about. So like, cool. It's that type of setup with the desks or whatever, but it's all horizontal. So it's like 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, and then it's like their computers and whatever at the desks and stuff. So obviously all the people are like working there. The company also has merch. It was crazy. I was like, yo, they got merch. Hey, wait. I'm like, I'm trying to get some of that. So cool. I'm chilling there. So obviously they're gonna ask, like, you know, what's up? You know, why are you here today? And I'm like, you know, obviously it should be obvious because I'm wearing a suit that like I'm here for an interview. I don't know why they would think I'm. Did y'all niggas think I was here to tell jokes? But anyway. So like, cool, man. So there was this one guy that came. This other guy that like, he was had an interesting reaction to my presence there. I'll say that. So this guy's like, so he comes pressing me. He's like, yo, like, why are you here? Who asked you to come here? Did they authorize it? We didn't know people were coming today. Da 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 da. And then he's like, you know, he's calling like the person that referred me for the interview and whatever. So he's trying to get in contact with them, and then coincidentally, the person that's supposed to do my interview comes back in time while this bro's on that call trying to press me and like whatever. The bro that's supposed to interview me actually shows up. So he shows up and he's like, hey dude, you can hang up, you don't gotta do all that. So then I go to him and it's one of those like, hey bro, don't mind him doing all that extra ish, bro. He just like that. And I'm like, okay. So cool. He's like, all right, man, give me like 5 minutes, nyana, and then let me just prepare everything for the interview, and then I'll tell you when to pull up. So I'm like, I faded, cool. I bet 5 minutes passes, and then during that time, I start asking like the people that work there, really, like general questions, like, hey, what are you doing on, you know, your computer? What does this do? Why are you doing this? What exactly is it that you're even doing? You know what I mean? So cool. All that happens, and then the interview time comes. So now they called me. They're like, yo, gonna do the interview. So the guy that's supposed to do the interview comes out of his, I guess, personal office to go into like the boardroom. So I'm like, damn, bro, this is a boardroom. Like, yo, this is pretty official to me. So I go in there. I'm like, okay. So then they like, where do you want to sit? I'm like, where are y'all gonna sit? So I can figure out like how to position myself. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so they like, nah, you can sit anywhere. So there was like this one chair that was out of place. And it was kind of lower than the other chairs, and it was also a different texture. So all other chairs were like those, you know, those like big leather chairs, but it's like a singular chair, but it has like that like leathery texture. So there were a bunch of chairs like that in the boardroom, and like one of those like wooden oak desks. Well, I don't know what type of wood it was, but it was like that shiny like wood, you know what I mean? But it was like that smooth one, and it's like kind of rounded and whatever. You know what? Just look up what boardroom desks look like, bro. You'll see what I mean. So like, cool. For y'all that have never done the interview and stuff for the 9 to 5s and whatever. Anyway. So like, yeah, that happens, and then the chair is like a bit lower than the other ones, and it's like one of those, like, you know, those older office chairs, the ones that have more of a old couch texture. Like, back in the days when they used to have those couches that it's not like now it's like most people have like leather couches, but it's like back in the day it was like there was those carpet-esque type couch, or that carpet-esque type couch. It had that material basically, but like for the office chair, and then it was like low to the ground. So I'm like, since it's a junior position, it would only be right if I sat in the, you feel me? So they're like, man, just sit on the goddamn pleather couch. Sit on the pleather chair. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, get on the pleather. So I'm like, hey, this is that real leather, brother. Is that official? But in my mind, I'm not saying any of that shit because that would be weird. And so they like they go through the questions. It's like some normal questions. Tell us about yourself. Da 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 da. Whatever. That whole process goes smoothly, and then yeah, it was cool. And then at some point I decide, you know what, because of like them taking the edge off of me because of how well the interview went, I was like, hey, I shouldn't be telling y'all this, but like, boom, busted out the shoe sole. Boom, other shoe sole is also gone. So like I like briefly summarized what happened before I got there, and I was like, yeah, man, that was like something that happened, and they like laughed about it. We all laughed. It was funny, and I was like, yeah, man. And then I even told them that like by the time I leave this office, everyone is gonna be talking about that. I'm like, the second I walk out that door and y'all come back, everyone's gonna be like, did you see that nigga's shoe soles? And I was like, trust. And they were like, all right, Betsy, cool. All that happened. They were like, okay, cool. We'll call you if like, isn't those hamburger. I was like, sharp. I'll fly out. I get out of the building, whatever. I didn't get to go back to the receptionist to like Valelisa and whatever, because they took me out on the other side of the building where we were at. And I was like, I feel it. It is what it is. Cool. I fly back to the mall. Guess who I see there by the mall? Homegirl from the cab. So I'm like, that's crazy. So I'm like, I went with a bit more of a brisk young tall jog adjacent pace. I was like fast walking. I'm fast walking. Obviously, I still don't have the shoe soles. So I still don't have enough money for that. I just have money to go home. So I'm like, I walk up to her. So I'm like, yo, what's up? She's like, hey. She's like, yo, did you take care of the thing with the shoe sole? I'm like, nah, I didn't. And then I showed her my other shoe sole, and she's like, yo, that's actually insane. And I was like, yeah, it is. And then we had a fat chat all the way back home, and it was like proper, man. It was like really cool. And yeah, at that point, I was like, hey, this would be the part in the movie where like the bro asks for the number and whatnot. But I told her I have to focus on myself. And while that was true, it sucked, man. She was like, yo, she was really pretty. But she also had a boyfriend. So I was also like, hey, yeah, I don't want to get into none of that. So I was like, cool, told her, yeah, it was good to meet you. And I didn't get her name, man. We talked about a bunch of stuff, exchanged like a bunch of movies and series and stuff to watch. It was really cool meeting her. But yeah, Bruce went home, and yeah, man, it was a crazy conversation, bro. It's a crazy conversation. You ever been talking to a girl and then you tell her how you be quick to fall in love with like other girls, but then you're falling like in the middle of that chat? That's what was going down, bro. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But anyway, went home, and that was that, man. So yeah. So what's the moral of that story? I guess the moral of that story is that even though things can go wrong, confidence is key. Like approach everything like with confidence despite the circumstances, even if they may become dire. and they may become rough, approach shit with confidence. Because that was pretty much it. Think about the whole shit of me talking to that girl. You feel me? It's like, yo, my shoe soles were gone. Not that Bruce didn't look fresh, but it's like, if you consider the whole outfit, it looks funny. You know what I mean? It's easy to get lost in that type of stuff and be like, dog, it's chaile, you know, I can't, bra ra 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 ra. But it's like, still carried myself with confidence. Still came there by the interview, got there on time, greeted everyone, all of that, you know. So that's the moral of the story, is that like, always walk with confidence. And also that thing that they be saying, you know, like, look good, feel good, smell good, whatever, do good, and all of that. Like, that also really came into effect. I gotta say that, like, there's also a psychological effect that happens when you've got that on. Like, there really is like some psychological benefits there. That help a lot. And I used to be the kind of merchant that was like, I used to be the kind of brew that didn't care about like his appearance and whatnot. But I've got to say, bro, like, since I've come around to like doing like that, it really does make a difference, bro. It really does make a difference. And yeah, dog, you know, put your best foot forward. You know, show up promptly to things, give it your best. That's all you can do. Yeah, so that was my second story time, I suppose. The first one was just a philosophical monologue about life that you guys must sumo go think over. And then yeah, a story time just for shits and giggles. Will I make more of these? Probably, because I've been wanting to get into like this whole thing. Of like, just like, yeah, dog, just like talking about shit that goes on, bro. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Like, yeah, but yeah. Or some things that I have, like, that I've done, or like whatever. I don't know. Because I just want to make sure my life was well documented, man. I think I used to be the type of nigga that like my life, most of my life is still not well documented. Like, I don't have a lot of pictures from like when I was a kid, when I was in high school, because like I deleted most of that shit, or like I just didn't archive it. So like I don't have, you feel me, like pictures of like, yo, this is me in grade 8, this is like da da da, because it's like I don't have my school pictures from that time. I don't have a lot of pictures period from that time. I used to have a Facebook, but like I deleted it, you know what I mean? So like most of my archives are like gone. So now it's like all of my stuff, all of my life seems, of course, to like a passing stranger, especially on the internet, nigga. It seems like it's all fiction. Because it's like, yeah, it's like I can't prove it to you. Like some of the stuff is like, what proof do you have? And it's like, I did it. It's like, I don't ask about me. Like, ask about me. Ask about me to like the motherfuckers that have met me. They'll tell you that like, this nigga really lived that shit. This nigga really lived that shit. But like, real talk though. But anyway, that is it, man. I don't really have more to speak on. Yeah. I definitely feel like a great exhale post talking about all that shit. Was that a good entry to open with for like story times and all of that jazz? I think so. I think it was pretty cool. So yeah. Yeah, anyway. Please like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the Patreon, you feel me? Smash that like button. You know, you don't have to comment because the comments will be turned off. Just fucking like the video and then share it with your friends or some shit like that. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's all for now. I want to go I just want to go record a song, but like, yeah. Anyway, I'll see y'all niggas around, man. Always put your best foot forward and don't be afraid to pivot into other things. Yeah. Stay well, drink water, and don't be so hard on yourself, bro. Take it easy. Anyway, that's That's it for me. And I don't know. The show must go on or some esoteric